Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Bella Salon and Day Spa, located at 41 West Main Street in Northeast Pennsylvania, proudly supports Chautauqua Sunrise and its volunteers. More information at bellasalonanddayspa.net. Funding is provided by a grant from New York State Senator Catherine M. Young, representing Western New York's 57th District with a local office in Olean. Chautauqua Sunrise is made possible by a grant from Fredonia Place, a continuing care retirement community providing dignity in a modern luxury environment. From the Access Channel 5 studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Channel 5. Continuing the traditions of Senior Report, we are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week, countywide, from 9 to 10 a.m. Join us by calling in live, emailing us, or checking out our social media. And now, from the Channel 5 studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Doc Hamels. As usual, I'm not plugged in here. I got to get myself figured out. But while I'm doing that, I want to welcome you all to the show this morning. We have a jam-packed show. I got 3 guests coming on in the course of an hour, so I got to move things right along. But first, a few things I want to share with you. The weather obviously is on everybody's lips right now. We're taking a break from all the politics, and at least we're talking about Mother Nature throughout the country. First time in a long time we're looking out instead of being looked in at as far as the snow and the weather. I hope all of you that have friends and relatives and loved ones down in Washington, Virginia, Kentucky, all over the eastern seaboard are safe. And for those that are stuck in traffic, hopefully they'll be pulled out and rescued and all that sort of thing. But we are here in Western New York. We understand how this all works, and but sometimes we do get stuck in that weather, so let's all just be careful as we go along this winter. One of the things that made me think about the weather this morning was just my mom. My mom was a great stocker-upper. I don't know how your moms were, but it would be in the middle of summer, and I'd visit the house, and she had 24 rolls of toilet paper, 50 rolls of paper towels, 75 chickens in the refrigerator. I don't know. It was just mounds and mounds of food, and it was just the 2 of them. And I used to say, "What are you doing?" She goes, "You just never know when you're going to get snowed in." I go, and she was absolutely right. So I've kind of taken up the spirit of that and stocking up, and that's a good tradition to have and something to think about, especially in the winter months. One thing that a lot of us that forget about that live out in the country, a lot of us are on wells. And when the power goes out and we get snowed in and all that sort of thing, we don't have water running. And so what I've done is I've taken up my mother's cause, and I don't want to say I'm OCD, but I'm getting pretty close to that. I stock up water after I have clear jugs of juice or something. I wash them out real well, and I fill them up with water. And everybody says, "What are you doing?" I say, "You never know." Like my mom used to say, well, just before Christmas, we did have about 6 hours of power outage, and all of a sudden, we got to cook, we got to wash, we got to do something, and we had no water. I went down in the basement, pulled up a couple of my water jugs, and I was ready to go. So that's just something to think about, is keep some water on hand. Okay, I just want to move along through a lot of stuff here quickly. It's wintertime, and I got a note from my buddy Mike Rowell from the Veterans Services of Chautauqua County, and he wanted me to remind you, if you know a veteran or you are a veteran and you need some warm winter clothes, I don't care what it is, give them a call at 661-8255. 661-8255 if you need some clothes for a veteran. They got a special stash for those folks. For those of you that read the Post-Journal, the Silver Magazine, I got a rash of great thank yous and compliments this past week from my article that I wrote. And I just want to thank you that are my readers. I'm here on the show. I get thanks for this show, but I also get some kudos for writing, and I just want to extend that because I know many of you watch the show as well, so thanks a lot. I want to congratulate the Northern Chautauqua Community Foundation. They hit 30 years. Dan and Ida were on the show last week, but I was invited to the celebrations yesterday over at 21 Bricks. They had a slew of people there, and it was a great time. And just so many great organizations that serve Chautauqua County, and that's just one of them. So let's see what else I got here. I want to remind you that this is a call-in show. It's live. My one guest didn't realize it was live, so we're going to make sure he stays on track here. But if you have an announcement, a question for any one of our guests, call in at 753-5225. Twitter us, tweet us, email us, whatever is showing up here, do whatever that is to get to us. Okay? I'm going to go through some quick announcements, and then we're going to get to our first guest. Okay. Today, Community Appreciation Day in Fredonia. I'm assuming that's today. Held at Steel Hall Ice Arena at SUNY Fredonia. The Fredonia men's hockey team will be on hand. There's a event kickoff at 1 p.m. with a free community skate hour from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. The Blue Devils will play an hour of pickup hockey. The first 50 guests receive free DFT or NetSync gifts. I wonder what that could be. More information, visit dftcommunications.com. Chris, our studio director here, wanted me to remind you that if you watch the show here, that if you're having trouble, of course, by now, maybe you figured it out, but if you know someone's having trouble finding the show, look at 23.4 or 5.3. I have no idea what that means, but I guess if you're on cable, that's what those numbers are, and you'll find us there. Okay. Soup and Songs Winter Series over at St. Susan Center. The fourth Saturday of January, February, March. The next one is tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. Chef Carrie Gifford from Murdoch's Restaurant is in charge, and the music is from and by good friends Bill Ward and Amanda Barton. $10 at the door. Okay, and then next Sunday, January. Wait a minute. Sunday. Chris, I'm going to have to talk to you about what the days of the week are. Sunday, the 31st, at Zebro's Harbor House, there'll be the presentation of It's a Wonderful Life, the radio show, and I will be part of that show in the role of Freddie Fillmore, the announcer. It's at 7 o'clock. It's a dinner theater, and if you have any questions, you can call 326-2017. Okay, The Dady Brothers are a musical duo that have been performing and winning the hearts of crowds professionally for over 40 years. Their music transcends genres and generations by the melding of American folk roots and Irish traditional influences into the, oh my gosh, amalgam of sound that is uniquely their own. I should pre-read these things. Where am I going with this? So, what is the announcement? Where are they? Chris, call me. Let me know. Where are they? It doesn't even tell me where they are. Is that the Infinity? Oh, they're on radio. All right, tell me again, Jeff. Oh, Rolling Hills. Oh, look up. I'm looking down. It's only live television. All right, there they are. They're in Rolling Hills with Ken Hardley and the crew over there. Duh. Okay, and so there's your information. So they're great guys. They've performed all over this county, especially up at the Opera House, I know, with the folks up there. So that's coming up. Sheesh. Okay, Infinity Youth Workshop Series. They're going to probably tell me there's another poster for that one. Oh, there it is. Ages 6 to 18, January 30th, Kids Zone. Oh, no. With Vicky Mazurkowitz and Mariah Melendi, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Cost is $10. Okay, and did you show the poster of Zebros? I'm assuming that happened. There we go. So that's the ad for them. That's coming up on January 31st, Sunday, and the 6th, Saturday at 7 p.m. Moving right along. Infinity is welcoming new instructors. Okay, we got some pictures of various people. Adam McKillop. I know Adam. He played at a variety of places I've played over the years. Adam McKillop is a 26-year-old native, and he's got lots of experience. He plays mandolin, guitar, piano, and saxophone. Then we've got Ryan Linfers. He's a drum instructor, and he's from Jamestown, and he works with, well, obviously drums, and he sings and so forth. Then there's Ron Williams of Preach Freedom, hand drum and dance ensemble. And Ron is also involved with international singing, songwriting, and he has lots of experience with drummers from all around the world, including Senegal, Ghana, Haiti, Puerto Rico, Peru, and Cuba. Preach has facilitated workshops in drum circles across the country. Melissa Williams is art, dance, theater, and drum and dance ensemble instructor. She'll be doing workshops over Infinity. And she was raised in Queens, New York, and has been all over the place as well. So check those folks out at Infinity. In other information, registration is now going on for the President's Day weekend medallion treasure hunt. That's a long name of saying that they've hidden hidden this really cool thing. No slide. There's nothing to show you. They've hidden something, and in order to find it, you need to register, and if you find it, you get some really cool prizes and all that sort of thing. That's all part of the ice festivities here in Mayville. You got to the 31st to register. You can pick one up at local businesses. Oh, there it is. There's a prize of $250. The first clue comes out February 1st, so get busy, get registered, and start looking for those clues. If you have more information, call 753-3113. Woo! And just for your information, President's Day Weekend Winter Festival, otherwise known as ICE from in the past. Don't yell at me, it's how I remember it. February 12th, 13th, and 14th, right down here at Lakeside Park in Mayville. And finally, Mike Ricketts and my buddies over there at the Habitat for Humanity are looking for volunteers at a variety of different sites. And if you are interested, there's going to be a get-together today, right now, at 143 Euclid Avenue, till 12:30. And if you're interested, call Habitat for Humanity. They're located here in Mayville, and Mike Ricketts is in charge of that. So if you have a yen for helping other folks and you're handy with tools or paintbrushes, whatever, they need lots of hands to help folks out with housing. Okay. Whew. I'm going to stop talking about lots of things, but I do want to remind you that if you want to catch the show, we are on WRFA, Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Hi, guys over there. And also you can catch us on YouTube later on in the week, or you can watch us in Fredonia, Jamestown, Mayville. We're everywhere. So have fun. Be safe out there. And now we're going to go right to our first guest. This gentleman contacted me a while back, said, I want to come on your show, and I couldn't schedule him for a full show. So I said, well, come on for a few minutes. So I want to welcome Randy Anderson, the president of the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. And he's got a bunch of stuff he wants to talk to us about. Take it away, Randy.
Thanks for having me, Doc.
You're welcome.
It's a real pleasure to come up here. It's been a long time since I've been inside Mayville School.
Were you kicked out?
We're not going there.
Okay.
2016 is a really big year for the Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame. It's our 35th year of honoring and preserving the sports history of Chautauqua County. We've grown in leaps and bounds over the last 35 years. We started in a storefront at Chautauqua Mall, and now we're in a 4,000 square foot exhibition hall on 3rd Street in Jamestown.
Wow.
We're kitty corner from Lucy Desi, if you know where that is.
Sure.
And we're open daily from noon till 3, and at other times by appointments.
Well, if somebody came by, what would they see? I mean, what's the catch here?
Wow. The first thing you would see is our Hall of Honor, where we have the photographic display of everyone who's been an inductee.
My pinnacle partner, Mel Swanson, is in there.
Mel is in there. His son, Nolan,
He
is
ran
in there.
against my son in cross country. Scott beat him one time, only once, Because Nolan lost his shoe.
Or he ran backwards or something.
Yeah.
Well, that whole Swanson family, they're unbelievable athletes. So you'll see the Hall of Honor where all of our inductees are located.
Cool.
But then the rest of our museum, it's just full of memorabilia of the sports history of our county. We've got items that go way back into the 1800s, right up until present day sports history.
Rich history.
Yeah. You can't spend enough time at our Hall of Fame to see it all.
Is there a admission fee?
Never.
Wow.
Never. It's our service to the communities to honor the sports history of our county.
And when I was looking at your website, there's people in sports that you wouldn't necessarily think of.
Exactly. We have a 1,000-page website, ChautauquaSportsHallOfFame.org. Those of you that are in the world of websites know that 1,000 pages is a monster. Yeah. It's the go-to site.
Maybe you're the reason why my computer freezes up once in a while. You're sucking all that air.
It's possible. If you happen to look up the name, if you Googled the name of any one of our inductees, let's say Shane Conlon.
Oh, yeah.
Say you Googled Shane Conlon, we would come up #1 on your Google search, just because of the volume of material that we have on our inductees and the sports history of our county.
Okay, so you got something coming up, and let's talk about. Did you talk about that? You didn't talk about that.
I did not talk about that.
So what's going on?
Our 35th annual induction dinner will be held Monday, February 15th.
It's not that easy doing this live at the Saturday morning, is it? And you got stuff in front of you.
Yes, it's February 15th. It's on President's Day. It's on President's Day every year, and it will be on President's Day next year as well. Our induction dinner is always held at the Lakewood Rod and Gun Club. We start at 5 o'clock, and we have a cocktail hour from 5 till 6:30, and then our dinner starts promptly at 6:30 and followed by awards. This year we're going to be inducting 9 new members in our Hall of Fame. They are Alex Conti from the Fredonia area, who made his props in the world of wrestling. Julie Goronsky from the Dunkirk School, who made her props in soccer and softball at Dunkirk and at Union College. Jim Ulrich, the noted track and field coach from SUNY Fredonia. Sarah Schuster Morrison, an All-American diver at Fredonia Central and the University of Miami. Robert Doc Rappole from Maple Grove, who's just an unbelievable cross-country coach as well as an accomplished runner in his own right. Dan Horde, originally from Lakewood, but has made his name in the world of sports broadcasting. He's the sports broadcaster for the Cincinnati Bengals as well as the University of Cincinnati. Heather Lefford Edborg, originally from Faulkner. She made her name in the world of softball at Faulkner, Erie Community College, as well as Ashland University. Clarence Flash Olson, the legendary wrestling and football coach from Southwestern Schools. And finally, Park Hill Davis, who graduated from Jamestown High School in 1889. He was a collegiate football coach. He was one of the early rules makers and historians of American college football.
What a cross-section of sports. Wonderful.
Well, that's what we're so proud of. It's such a diverse class. We've got men, we've got women. We cover all parts of the county, north, south, east, and west.
Excellent. And your guest speaker that day is someone special.
Oh, it's a big one. It's a big one for us. It's Don Beebe. Those of you who are football fans will remember the name Don Beebe.
Absolutely.
He played in 4 Super Bowls for the Buffalo Bills. He played in 2 more Super Bowls for the Green Bay Packers, and he will be here in town on February 15th at the Lakewood Rod and Gun Club.
Okay. Randy, thanks so much for coming by and sharing all the information. That was a lot of information.
One more thing, Doc. Tickets. Tickets to our banquet are available at Matt's News in Dunkirk, at the Jock Shop in Jamestown, or by calling Chip Johnson at the Lind Funeral Home in Jamestown.
Excellent. Okay, folks, well, check it out. That's coming up here in a few weeks, and it sounds like a great time. And a chance to meet Don Beebe, one of the greats of the Buffalo Bills. I remember his name clearly.
I hope you'll stop by, Doc, and see us.
I'll try. Okay,
all right,
we'll
thanks.
see you. All right, we're going to take a public service announcement, and then we got 2 more guests coming, so stay tuned. I'm Doc Hamels. You're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. We'll be right back. Switch.
They told me a bottle couldn't
Good.
breathe,
Rain, if you want to stick around, fine. If you're not, you...
that I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Okay, we're back, Chautauqua Sunrise, and someone that's no stranger to the studio here, I have Karen Harvey, who asked if she could come on for a little bit. And so, Karen, take it away. What you got for us today?
Thanks, Doc. Public Access will be airing the program that was put together by the League of Women Voters last week. The Hot Topics program was Bombs in Chautauqua County. That is, bomb trains in Chautauqua County.
Ooh.
What we have to offer are two speakers, one representing Senator Charles Schumer's office, who spoke about the fact that the number of oil tanker trains in our county that pass through here from west to east has increased tremendously. In fact, the volume has increased to 800,000 barrels a week, equivalent of a pipeline. But they have pointed out that there are no regulations above ground. Pipelines have many regulations, many laws that govern the way the oil is transported. But when they're in tanker cars, there is no regulation. While Schumer and others have proposed several means to regulate these tanker cars, which contain back-end crude oil from North Dakota. Back-end crude oil from North Dakota is not like Texas oil. It contains propane and butane. It was this oil that caused the accident in Lac Mégantic in Quebec 3 years ago, 2013, which incinerated 43 people and 30 buildings.
Oh my gosh.
It is very volatile. It is explosive. It doesn't just roll over and run out like oil from Texas.
Wow.
The people in North Dakota do not remove the gases that are there, and they also have used the same old tank cars that they've used forever. They're called DOT 111s, and they come in unit trains. And when they do roll over, they explode. That's all there is to it. And they explode and they burn for days and days and days. So this law has not been passed, this safety regulation that would govern the way this is transported. The other speaker was Charlie Bowman from the Western New York Peace Center, and he reminded us that there are 3,000 bridges in railroad overpass bridges in New York State, and there is one inspector for those bridges. Those bridges, as we know, are in disrepair. So we have rail cars that are in disrepair, we have bridges that are in disrepair, and we have oil that has changed in nature that is not regulated. The safety regulations for pipelines are extensive, but there are zero regulations for railroad oil tankers. When we filmed this, we discovered that nobody knew much of this detail. One of the speakers that was supposed to be there, Julius Leone, appeared and then had to leave because of the snowstorm on January 13th. This program will be airing from January 30th to February 5th at 3 o'clock and at 9 o'clock. And it was sponsored by the League of Women Voters for Chautauqua County. The speaker for Charles Schumer was Jordan Nicholson, who is a graduate of this area and had been the president of SUNY Fredonia's student body, and now he is the deputy regional director for Senator Charles Schumer's office. So we hope you'll get to take a look at what they have to say. They explain exactly what the situation is, and of course Julius Leone was part of that. But
Karen, that's going to be out here on Access 5?
It is, and possibly Jamestown and Dunkirk, and then Fredonia's school.
It will be posted on YouTube at all for those who are listening?
It will be on
radio?
YouTube. It'll be under Bomb Trains in Chautauqua County. We'll have that up today.
Okay, excellent. So for our listeners in Jamestown that listen to us on WRFA, you check it out on YouTube. Okay. Karen, as always, thank you, and we'll talk with you again sometime soon. All right, thanks as always. All right, folks, well, woo! I got through 2 guests and still holding my own. I still can't understand why I didn't see that poster earlier. I guess they're going to have to put a note, look up, dummy. When Reed Powers used to be the host here, he used to draw little eyeballs and have arrows for me to look up. You sticking around, Karen? Are you going to? All right, we'll see you later. Okay, so anyways, our special guest, I guess you're special now because is the director of the Office of the Aging is Dr. Marianne Spanos, and thanks for joining me again.
Always great to be here.
You asked me what I wanted you to talk about today, and I'm always interested to know what it is like right now in Chautauqua County for seniors. What are the trials and tribulations? What are the things that they're struggling with, and what are some of those solutions? And I know that's a big question, but I think that's how I posed it to you, as opposed to saying, sign up for this class or that class. But but reason being is I deal with folks from time to time that are seniors, and I guess I'm in that category, I suppose. But so I'll be quiet. So what's going on out there?
Well, there's so many things going on. You're right, that is a big question. The first thing I have to do is talk about a little faux pas I made this month with my article. You were talking about how great your article is, and
no, they tell me. I don't think that. I'm told this. That's just.
I get called on my articles all the time. It's great when you have a great readership, but then when you make a mistake, oh my goodness. So I do have to apologize to our local assessors because we misprinted some things about our Star article this year. I think I got most of it corrected for the Jamestown.
Okay, so what would you say if you had the chance to say it again? What we need? We won't tell them the mistake. Just tell us what's the right information. What should we do?
Well, first of all,
yes.
Most people do not have to reapply for Star.
True.
If you signed up for Star last year,
you're good to go.
You're good to go. I don't think anything you won't have to reapply till like 2018.
Okay.
Seniors did not have to reapply last year, but that's only if they've signed up for income verification.
Okay.
It's complicated. Like everything else, this program is complicated. So seniors who are 65 and over can get an enhanced Star benefit. This can be anywhere, this is money off of your school taxes. So it can be regular Stars between $255 and $840 off your taxes.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, if you're for seniors with lower incomes, it can be quite generous incomes. You can get between $510 to $1,797 off your school taxes. It depends on where you live.
That's right.
Okay, and but the best source of information, whether you've signed up for Star or need to sign up for Star, is your local assessor's office.
Absolutely. I know in our town of Ripley, our local assessor is very, very approachable and is more than happy to look up, what your status. Now, is there a deadline? I don't even know there's a deadline.
Well, most towns, it's March 1, and that's why we start talking about it in January and February. There are a few places like Dunkirk that don't have, their deadline isn't till May 1, which is quite unusual.
Yeah.
But most towns, it's March 1st.
Okay.
So apparently, one of the assessors told me that you cannot apply online. You would need to do a paper form if you haven't applied previously. I heard that from the Jamestown assessor, so even though I went online to the website, we have the applications at our office, so do all the local assessors. Again, the best source of information is your local assessor, but you can also call our New York Connects helpline. I think you've got the number that you can put up, and we will get you an application and help you out.
And this goes right along with a few other things that I'm thinking of right now, especially for those of us, and I think you've called them the sandwich generation. We're those that are helping our mom and dads, but we have our own kids still. And the reason why I mention this is, for instance, HEAP. A lot of people don't realize the benefit of applying for the heating credits that you get for the gas company or electric company. And it's a little bit complicated, but for those of us that maybe are a little more familiar with doing forms and this and that, we can help our parents. My dad in Buffalo, he gets a great credit. We take great joy when he opens up the national fuel bill and it says 0 because he's got credit for it. And this is the same thing. Fill out the forms.
Fill out the forms. The one neat thing, though, about HEAP and SNAP, which is the new name for food stamps, Senior Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, if you sign up for SNAP, and a lot of seniors do not, And we tell them, you should sign up for SNAP, even if it's the lowest amount, which is like $12 a month. You know, if you use Meals on Wheels, if you go to farmers markets, if you want to do a special meal, it's all like in a little credit card. It's not that old paper fake money.
Right.
The neat thing about signing up for SNAP, it automatically enrolls you in HEAP.
Get out.
Yes, you do not have to reapply for HEAP every year. If you get SNAP benefits, and you know, as I said, you don't have to use them every month. You have this little debit cart. You can save them up for a few months and use them on a special meal. Maybe you've got, you know, guests, but the neat thing too is if you're getting Meals on Wheels and you're not cooking for yourself and you feel bad that a lot of people feel bad they can't give a donation. Guess what? You can give your SNAP benefits as your donation.
Wow.
Helps the Meals on Wheels. This is a federal program. A lot of seniors will say to me, oh, I don't want to take it away from somebody else. The problem with that thinking is this money, first of all, comes from the federal government, and as many people who are eligible apply or can get it. When our senators, our congressmen do not give raises to the seniors on their Social Security, it's because they're expecting that you're using all these other programs. So when you don't get a raise and you don't use these programs, you're hurting yourself.
You're not getting a raise.
Right.
The raises are out there, but it's not in the same form as seeing a little bit of money that they're going to tax you anyway sooner or later in your monthly amount.
Right.
That's, you know, it's funny you were saying that. I was thinking the exact same thing. Is that it's not like an entitlement. It's your pay.
Right, and I think seniors need to think about the fact that you worked all your life. You paid your taxes. You know, that's what your taxes went to. Some of your taxes come to the Office for the Aging. Some of them go to Social Security or Medicaid, or all these programs are funded by your taxes. Think of it as a tax rebate. You're older, you don't have as much income coming in, maybe you're only living on Social Security, which is not growing. This is your payback, your rebate.
All right, let's roll back the tape just a little bit.
Sure.
All right, SNAP. How do you get SNAP?
It's an application like anything else.
Okay.
You can get the applications from our office. You can get them from any of the social service offices. You can apply online for SNAP.
And what would be the online? Because I'm going to look into this.
You want me to give you the website off the top of my head? New York State SNAP.
Oh, New York State SNAP.
If you go to New York State, you should be able to find it. That's the federal designation, SNAP.
Okay, so it sounds like it's pretty easy. What's the age requirement?
There's not an age requirement. Those benefits are, you know, income requirements.
Do you have to be on Social Security to get it?
No.
Oh.
No.
So
it depends on your income.
Income?
There's income guidelines.
Oh, well, that's true. So
just like HEAP.
A young person could be on SNAP.
Right.
SNAP. All right.
Right.
And so this is something that seniors keep forgetting about that's there for them.
It's there for them too, yeah.
Okay. And then, as you say, and then with the HEAP just rolls together.
Right.
Why did I not know this?
Thing.
I'm glad we talked about this. Dad, we're gonna look into that one too.
Good, good. So one other thing I wanted to tell people about, right now seniors are getting their new insurance, or their old insurance has new co-pays and things. It's starting to take effect. Remember back in October, all the insurance companies every year, if you don't have regular Medicare, if you're in a Medicare Advantage program like that through Univera or Independent Health or Humana or Blue Cross Blue Shield, all of these change their program slightly every year. They're allowed to do that. And they get to change it in the middle of the year. You have to sign up or change your program in the fall. They start being effective in January. We are seeing a lot of people coming in our doors right now that their co-pays have changed, and they're upset because they didn't think they were going to change. So do call our office. Sometimes you are locked in, but a lot of times we can find a way around. If you're in New York State Epic, program, you have a one-time out to change your insurance. If we can get you into Medicare Savings Program, those people who are lower income, Medicare Savings is where Medicaid pays your $104.90 Part B program. It's a really great benefit. So come to our office. If you haven't seen us for health insurance counseling, that's going on all year long, and we'll do everything we can to help you get into the right program. If you, for some reason, are locked in, that doesn't mean there's nothing we can do. We talk to your pharmacist. Sometimes there's programs through the pharmacy to help pay co-pays. The county has a great prescription drug discount card. We're starting to get more of those in our office, and so sometimes that can help too.
So why would this be a big mystery or a big secret to a lot of people? That's what,
because their insurance sends them this booklet of changes, and it's very difficult to decipher what the changes are.
Or the print is so little you can't even tell what it is.
Exactly. And I tell people, people come up to me and ask me about their insurance. I know enough to be dangerous. My staff, Chris Chironis, and the outreach staff, Kate Finch in Dunkirk, Michelle Swan in Jamestown, and Bridget here in Mayville, they go to school 5 or 6 times a year to learn about all the updates. They're constantly getting emails on changes and information. We work very close with the pharmacists, and a lot of the pharmacists in the area are great to know to call us to help their clients out. So,
how many people right now are watching this show, looking at me right now, or listening to me on the radio later in the week, and they're sitting worried about how they're going to pay for everything, and they don't know some of this stuff, and they refuse to call because they're either embarrassed or they don't think they should have this benefit? A lot of people, I bet.
Yeah, I bet.
Stop being so stubborn. Okay.
But remember, if you're a caregiver, your son,
there
daughter,
you go. That's exactly where I want to go.
If you're a neighbor and you're concerned about your older neighbor, call us. We get calls from all kinds of people saying, I'm just concerned about this person or that person. We don't tell them who called. We just call them and say, hi, this is Office for the Aging. We heard you might not know about some of our programs. This and this is going on. How can we help you? And we get a conversation going and talk to them about all the different things that are out there. Remember, we are the place you should call first. Don't call around to 20 gazillion places. We have our New York Connects hotline, helpline, I like to say. It's one number you can call. We don't give you just what you're asking for. We kind of want to find out what's going on with you, and then we tell you about all the different things, some things you may not have thought of before. So you can call toll-free from Jamestown, 661-7582. Up here in Mayville, 753-4582, or toll-free from the Dunkirk-Fredonia area, 363-4582.
I don't know how it is at your house. I know when you hit a certain age, I'm thinking of George. Maybe George is getting this stuff now.
George is 60 this year.
I didn't say, George, I didn't mention your age. I just meant you're getting older, that's all. But as soon as you get to a certain magic number, I don't know, 55, let's say, it just seems like we're inundated with insurance proposals and booklets and go this way and go that way. And I suspect that there are some folks that bite on that, and then they find themselves a year later in trouble because their premiums have skyrocketed. They got into these life insurance policies that they'll never go up, they'll never go down, and then they find out they're paying way too much money. And I'm not hitting any particular company, but I watch these commercials very carefully through your eyes as the Office for the Aging and for what I do here with the show, and I think, it's not a scam, but they really are kind of suckering people in here, and it just can't be as cheap as they're saying, and you really need to talk to somebody that can sit down, do the math with you, and figure out, is this a good benefit for you or not? Because I think there's a lot of things a lot of products out there that are way expensive that you don't really need.
Well, and that's the thing, is a lot of our seniors are going right to the company. And these companies are great people, but they're only going to tell you about their products.
Right.
Independent Health and Univera and Blue Cross, which are the major ones in our area, when you go to see one of their counselors, a red shirt or whatever it is, they only tell you about the products in their repertoire. Office for the Aging, we aren't selling anything.
You have no, you're not getting any kickbacks.
We have no skin in the game. So we're telling you about traditional Medicare as well as these what we call advantage products and telling you the difference. One thing you brought to mind when you said, you know, normally we work with people who are 65 and over, and that's basically our catchment for health insurance. But there's a lot of people out there that are working past the age of 65 who just stay on their employer insurance. It's what they know. Doesn't matter how much comes out of their pocket. They're used to it coming out every, you know, paycheck. But we have found, we've started to work with a couple manufacturers in the Jamestown area, and we're starting to find people who are working beyond the age of 65 who it may benefit you to go on Medicare when you turn 65.
And it may benefit the employer.
It'll definitely benefit the employer.
Why would you want to pay all these premiums for employees that they don't need that insurance, you know?
Well, and it depends on how much you're paying out of pocket.
Sure.
Some of employers, like the county, are very generous, and we've run the numbers for county employees because the county pitches in a good amount and has such a big group, probably their premiums are lower and
more competitive.
Right. So, but for other employers, if you're working beyond the age of 65, you may want to come and see us and talk to us. We're getting quite a few. We're starting to do presentations for employers. So if you're an employer out there and want to talk to the Office for the Aging, we usually go over our health insurance counseling. The HR people are terrific. But if we have difficulty keeping up with the changes in Medicare, they are trying to keep up with their own insurance changes. They don't really know as much about the Medicare side of it.
So for employers that are watching right now, small companies, would your folks come in and talk with them?
Certainly we would. And we also talk about caregiving programs that we have. You know, there are a lot of people who are taking care of somebody with Alzheimer's, dementia, or just, you know, a frail elder, and they're spending time during their day to check on mom or dad, or they're taking time off to take them to a doctor's appointment. They don't realize that there are help out there for them. If they want transportation through the Office for the Aging, if they want to get one of those emergency response buttons.
My dad has one, I'm proud to tell you. Remember I was asking you about that?
Right.
And he, every once in a while he bumps it just right and he has a voice coming out of his pocket.
And that's okay, you know.
And they say very good, not a problem.
He probably has the new GPS version.
He has the GPS, so we can find him.
That's great. So you can call if you can't get Dad on the phone, and they'll say, "Oh, we know where Dad is. He's."
Well, you know what? My dad watches the show every week, so this is not an issue because I'm not telling tales out of school here. But I called him up one day and I said, "Dad, I just got an email that you had some kind of emergency or something," and he's, I just hit the button, but it automatically alerted it. My brother and I are on the call system, so sometimes they'll say, we just got a notification that your father pushed, alerted us. So it's like, cool. I mean, it works, and there's,
and the county.
We're not next door to my dad, or a lot of people are probably watching here and say, well, we live on the other side of the county. But to be able to have that little bit of peace of mind that just a simple button, right?
Right. And, if they're a case-managed person who gets other services through our office gets alerted too. So one of our nurse or one of our caseworkers will call and just check on the person. We heard you alerted your button. Is everything okay? Is there something else we can do? But, you know, a caregiving kind of sneaks up on you, and it can become overwhelming,
Yes.
whether you're working or not working. And as you said, the sandwich generation, trying to take care of kids and an aging parent. You know, remember, Office for the Aging is here for you. And we can do all the research about what programs and services can help mom or dad, so you don't have to spend your precious time doing that. Just call our helpline.
And what all the things we've talked about in this short segment here, there's an overriding arching theme, I think, that we haven't even said, and that is we want seniors to be as independent, living on their own for as long as they possibly can in their own home.
Exactly. You have just stated our mission.
You're welcome.
Our mission
I
at
was not
Office
paid
for
for
the
that.
Aging is to keep you at home. That's where people want to be through
Yes.
the end of their life.
Yes.
And sometimes it only takes a little bit of help to keep them there. That brings us to our state budget, because we're advocating hard for more money for seniors. In 2015, over 20% of the statewide population is over the age of 60. In our county, we are over 25%
I was
of the
going to ask you
people
that question.
here.
I thought that was
Yes,
pretty high.
we are. We're one of the highest and probably one of the areas with the lowest income. And so our services through Office for the Aging are critical for people. They're not free. Those home care services, people pay on a sliding scale depending on their income. It could be a donation. It could be, you know, a percentage of the cost. But the problem is, you know, our funding had been quite stagnant. The last few years, they have been putting more money into it, but it has not kept pace with the senior growth in the senior population. So I was just reading today, there are over 9,700 people across the state waiting for services through the Offices for the Aging. We are fortunate here. We have no wait list for meals.
Great.
Because we have some terrific Meals on Wheels organizations that work with us, do their own fundraising. We do have a wait list for home care, but we are slowly chipping away at that as the county has pitched in more money. But we are going to be, you know, the governor just gave very minor increases to our budget this year in his proposal. We are asking for quite a bit more.
Good.
So if you can talk to your state officials, tell them
All right.
that
You know, we always say state officials. Who are we talking about exactly?
we're talking about Kathy Young and Andy Goodell.
Okay.
You know, if you get services from the Office for the Aging, if you've been helped by us, please call them. Tell them what services we've given to you, how we've helped your parent, how we've helped you stay in your home, and let them know that these are good services to fund. There's a lot of people competing for funding, and but our goal is to keep seniors in their homes through the end of their life.
And if my math is right, we're talking here in Chautauqua County in excess of 32,000 seniors.
That's just about right.
So there's power, people, in the numbers. I mean, you know, get on the phone, write to your officials, and so on. We have a phone call. You want to take a call?
Sure.
Good morning, caller.
Well, good morning. Good morning, Mary Ann. It's so great to see you on the show this
She's
morning.
our spark plug in the morning.
Yeah.
She ding, gets us on.
Good morning, Linda. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm great. It's a beautiful morning out there. It isn't blizzarding.
That's
That's a plus.
So it's great working for the Office for the Aging. There's all kinds of services, and Mary Ann directs and runs a terrific group.
She never grumbles about her job, ever, when she calls her.
No.
And you've called her like 4,000 times, I think. So what's up these days, Linda?
Well, we're coming on the show
Yes, you are.
in February, and I'm
wait.
bringing some people with me.
Great.
We're planning on giving a good show for you, and it's great
for you, not me.
and it's good to hear all the information that Mary Ann has to tell.
Well, there's just so much to share, you know, and we're just one little voice here in Chautauqua County and on the radio now, and hopefully, you know, we just keep at it, and one person hears a little piece of what you guys talk about and then spreads it to their friends and relatives. So, yeah.
I wanted to ask you, how did you make out on your dinner theater with the storm and everything?
The dinner theater, when? The one from Shel Silverstein or the one coming up? The one coming up we haven't done yet.
Oh, okay, that's good.
That's next Sunday, and then the following Saturday. So far, so good. But
good.
we definitely keep an eye on the weather.
Oh, okay, that's good. Now, I'm talking about the one in Barcelona.
Yeah, the one in Zebros, that's coming up.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you got to
Good.
attend it. It's going to be great fun.
Yeah, I'd love to come.
Okay.
Well, Linda heads up our senior employment program, so they're going to tell you a lot about that next month. But
well, I told her, I said one day, I said, you know, I talked to you for like little snippets every week. I said, let's come on and do the whole show so we can get really into the depth of the program.
It'll be good to hear from some of the people in the program, too. But she does a great job at helping our seniors find work. There's many who can't quite make it on Social Security, and so they need to continue to work, and often they don't have the skills, you know, from their previous employer, so this gives them a job to gain more skills and training. We use a lot of senior aides in our office to help with the program, so
you know, and Linda, I think you'll agree with this. I don't know how many guests we've had on the show when Linda's called in, and we found that there was a networking common point, right, Lynn?
That's right.
She'll say, oh, we work with them, and we work with them, and we have a senior aide working over there. And so it's just so interesting to see how all the different organizations work together in Chautauqua County. I don't think people appreciate the networking that goes on.
Yeah, the networking is really great in our county. It really is.
It is, and you know, we are doing some really neat things at the Office for the Aging that are groundbreaking across the country. You know, our Office for the Aging is connected to 35 physicians.
Wow.
7 physicians' practices where we send electronic messages back and forth to the doctors, and it's really great. Chautauqua County Health Network and in conjunction with our Long-Term Care Council got a grant for this to get it started, and now we have these physicians who are in what we call an accountable care organization. Associated Medical Partners is their name, and they're trying to improve health care for many people on Medicare in our county. But it's really neat that when they see a need that's not a medical need, they can just send a message to the Office for the Aging, and then we look into that part, and then we tell them what we did. You know, so they know, you know, we do a lot of health and wellness programs. In fact, we have a new program for caregivers called Powerful Tools, helping caregivers not get stressed out with their caregiving job. And so that is going on at doctors' offices, but they also make referrals to us for that, for Tai Chi, for our different health and wellness programs. We have a big Alzheimer's caregiver grant that's starting to help people who are caring for somebody with Alzheimer's and dementia. So, but it's really neat and, you know, groundbreaking. You know, it's really cool to be at national conferences, and here in little Chautauqua County, because of our networking ability, we have this system where community entities are working with healthcare entities in a very collaborative way that's not happening across the country.
No, that's terrific. Linda, anything else you want to share?
I think we lost her.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Lynn, for calling. Okay, let's keep on going. We've got about another 6 minutes or so. Marianne, one of the things that concerns me, and I asked Joe Gerasi about this when he's on the air, scams. People get things in the mail. Here's a book that you can preview, and then you send us money. And then people feel that they got to pay. They get phone calls about Bahama trips. They get phone calls about something's wrong with their computer. Give you some information. And these are things I hear all the time. What's going on in Chautauqua County? Are you hearing these kinds of things too?
Well, there's you know, the big tax scam has been going on, and I was getting those calls. Like
I'm
they
not
said,
familiar with that one.
They just had it on the national news about, you know, you're getting calls and it says it's the IRS.
Oh, okay, yes,
and
yes, I
if
heard
you
that
don't
one.
call us back and pay your back taxes, we're going to send the police to arrest you. The IRS does not call you. The IRS will not call you on the phone. They send letters through the mail. They do not call you. You know, if they do not use scare tactics, so if you're getting a message and it's a scary message, most probably it is a scam. Go to an independent source to corroborate it. I did an article a few months ago, and I don't have the website off the top of my head, but the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, and the National Consumer Protection Bureau look at those two websites. One of those has all the current scams. You can even look up things, you know, put in the search of scam. They have a scam blog almost of all the scams that are going on.
Or something like that. There used to be places that would talk about these
but
kinds of
this is the, you know that the Federal Trade Commission and the National Consumer Protection Bureau, those are government entities. They have a great place for you to report scams and to look up, you know, if you hear of something, you get something in the mail, you don't think it's true, you can call our office. We'll look it up for you too.
Great.
But you can go online and look it up at the Federal Trade Commission. They have a wonderful, wonderful website about scams that I keep directing people to.
You know, one thing that I do quite often is you'll get a phone call and it's, I don't know, from New Jersey and they'll leave one of those messages and I'm going like, So what I do is I go on the internet and on the where you would normally put the WWF or WWW. I got wrestling on the mind here. You put your address and instead of doing that, you put the phone number in there and you hit send, and then it'll show you if that number pops up for whatever reason. And 99% of the time they'll say, did you get a phone call from this number? And then it'll list, this is a scam, it's a car dealership, it's someone trying to sell you insurance, it's we've had complaints about this number. So that kind of can help you feel a little more comfortable if you get one of these numbers that it's a bogus number, and don't worry about it. And I think the most important thing when these people do call, and if you do get suckered into part of the phone call, is don't give out your social security number, don't give out a credit card number, don't give out any personal information unless you absolutely know who you're talking to. My dad and I have a deal. He gets these from time to time. He says, fine, here, my son will call you back. And he hangs up. And so he tells me about it. We investigate it. Sometimes it's a real deal. You know, maybe it's like the city of Buffalo wanting something or whatever. But 99% of the time, it's just somebody bogus. And
it's so easy. You know, they are so skilled at sucking you in.
And a lot of times they're calling from a different country. They're not even here in the United States.
You know, and I have to say, our local sheriff, Joe Gerasi, is so good about helping us out, you know, if there's a particular issue. He's even talked, we couldn't talk to this one senior into the fact that it was a scam. And Joe actually called him himself. He and the undersheriff, Chuck Holder, are great, you know, and they showed this person that this really is a scam. Yeah. So,
and they work on small percentages. I've read where, you know, they figure if they get between 1% and 5% of the callers to buy into it, that's all they need to generate thousands and thousands of dollars. They steal identities, they get into your credit cards, and they hit like lightning. They charge up things real quick, and they're gone. And there you are holding the bag, and it's horrible.
You know, and it makes you think. You should, you know, look at your bills too, and make sure you recognize them. I can't tell you how many times I've had to change my credit card because somebody took the number. And they didn't even get the card.
You mean you didn't buy a color TV in China?
Hey, one time my finance person at the county said to me, did you buy hair products on $400 worth of hair products on the county credit card? I said, really? Do you think that somebody got a hold of my county credit card in California? They did a little test, you know, went to a, you know, Burger King, and then somehow they just got the number. They don't even have to have the card. So we had to have that stopped, but it can happen, you know.
Do you know we've got like 30 seconds left? Marianne,
always goes fast.
Contact number and anything else you want to say before we wrap up.
Well, just remember, call Office for the Aging first. Call our New York Connects helpline. We should be, if you're looking for something and you don't know where to go, call us. We're not going to give you the runaround. We're going to give you the answer. We're going to connect you directly to what you need. If we don't know, we'll research it and get back to you. So call our office first. 753-4582 is our helpline, or 363-4582, or 661-7582.
Marianne, thanks again as always, and we'll have you on later on in the year. You've been watching Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and we do appreciate you've been viewing, listening, and I hope that the information you got today was really helpful. Check it out, folks. This is real stuff. Thanks again. We'll see you all next time right here, Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock You take care and stay warm. Bye now.